cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move them out, let them roll, from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. What do you do when the mountain is there? How do you answer the challenging dare? And when your back's against the wall, what do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, cannonball, cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea.
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the Apex Online Racing Project CARS 2 PC GT3 League Tier 1 round number 7 for Season 10 here at Catalunya. My name is King-Kodiak and I have very little voice left, but I press on nonetheless. Joining me in the commentary box will be our very faithful, long-serving Stevie SQ. He is actually helping form the grid for this 1.5-hour endurance event. It is reverse grid order, same as we had for round 3, same concept we had there. So the top drivers that have served in all rounds, or all but most of the rounds, we should say, will be forming the front half of the grid. Those that have missed more than, I believe it's 2 rounds, will be serving the back half of the grid, and this leaves us with Ascari and Alexis taking the front in the Lamborghini, with Gibbs second in the Audi. I believe, Stevie, you've come back to me.
I have. I am never too far from you.
Oh, you beautiful, beautiful man. There is Nick Meadow in the McLaren. That's real storming race last time out. Ironic takes a 4th in the Lamborghini. There is Zenny, who confused us with his very, very imaginative letters. It was him that we were trying to figure out, Knee or some such. It was actually Zenny all along. There is Popsu in the red and black Audi. Scott in the blue Mercedes takes 7th to Heidi in the Z4. Oh, that's a very weird...
That was some very severe lag.
Yes, that's Nick Meadow in big, big trouble. That caught all of us out, and that's a dancing... that's Nick Meadow's... Yeah, he's in big trouble, I suspect. So that's.
He was saying in the chat that he was struggling with. He may be lagging.
I would concede that is what he's doing. Chardier in 9th then. In the, oh yes, beg your pardon. No one can see anything because I left the track image on. Beg your pardon. There we go. Everybody can now see what is going on. My mistake. Thank you for that.
Did you realise that now?
Yes, glad we realised that before the race got properly underway. There is Nick Meadow actually parking his car. He's going to start from the back of the field, I suspect, because of his lag issues. So, as Ascara Alexis leads the field around 2x2 onto the start-finish line, he will be signifying the beginning of the race by when he decides to floor it. And oh, that's a Z4 that's lagging around. Oh, that's one of the Lambos that's been bumped. So, And away we go then. We are racing here in Catalunya. It's the 1.5 hour race, 51 racing laps. And all we've already lost, I suspect that's Nick Meadow that's gone. It is indeed. Nick Meadow couldn't resolve his particular lag issues then. The Lamborghini leading the way into turn 1. Scott has jumped all the way up to 4. He's already up to 3rd. Wow, he was down in 7th to start with. He's had a storming start in the blue Mercedes. Ironic in 4. That's Zenny 5. Popsu is there in the red and black Audi. He's had an absolutely cracking start. What a cracker by the blue Mercedes.
Absolutely, he started 7th. Like, even if you get rid of Nick Meadow out of that puts him 6th. That's still 3 places, basically before in 2 corners.
Berserker has changed car. He was the sole Renault runner before he decided to offer the Mercedes. There's to Heidi fighting with Ironic for that 6th position in the Z4. Now trying an outside manoeuvre around turn 6 and 7. Hang on in there. Looks like he has got that position from the Lamborghini. Wow, that is very, very close. But the championship leader has managed to fight his way up. There's a lovely helicam shot. We can see nearly half the field in that. There's Gibbs still in 2nd. He's got that blue Mercedes. He's gone a little bit deep into turn 10. And that's going to give the Mercedes a run, but didn't manage to go through. Oh, Nick Meadow's connection did actually give up on him in the end. Oh, Scott with a great move on the inside of turn 12. Can he get it done before he gets to 13? He does. Scott now into 2nd. Pops who's looking to follow suit. Great move then by the championship frontrunners and the black and red Audi. Oh, Gibbs has gone wide, but manages to keep it on the road. Popsu is almost pushing the green and black Audi along the road, and look at that. That's Zenny that's defending from De Heidi in the Z4. So it is all going off exactly as we imagine. But looks like everybody has, with the exception of Nick Meadow, sadly his internet connection just deciding he doesn't want to play ball anymore. Looks like everyone's survived so far.
Absolutely. There was 3 wides at some points around the lap, but it seemed everybody took it nice and steady, and there wasn't too much in the way of shoving people off. Good to see.
Absolutely. Now, wow, that's committed from Scott there to rotate the Mercedes. And look at Gibbs. He looks like he's a bit of a cork in the bottle there for those 2 Audis. That is Popsu and Zenny that seem to be a little bit stuck behind Gibbs's Audi. We've got De Heidi in that mixture as well on the Z4. And behind De Heidi is Jardier. So, yeah, great old battle there. There is Jardier in the ACR liveried Audi. And behind him is Nesterowicz in the black and red Lambo.
We're going to have a move here.
Oh,
this is the thing with the reverse races, is that there will always be quicker guys coming through. Oh, I thought Popsu was going to go for that. He decided not to.
Oh, Zenny's a bit deep there into turn 10. There's Nesterowicz. That's Villa Lobos in the Sister Z4, actually with Berserker, who seems to be getting on not too badly with that Mercedes, certainly over the Renault that he was in previously. There's Colonel McCoy in the next Audi down the road with Danny Vandermeer. Whoop, there goes a braking board. Oh, what a move by Colonel McCoy defending from Vandermeer.
Well.
Yeah, that was Berserker in the Mercedes fighting with Villa Lobos. Oh, that's not a lot of room to go side by side there, but they managed to do it. No one off into the dust. Wow, that was impressive.
This to the lead. It's Scott's caught right up to Alexis.
And he absolutely hasn't. Tried to have a look on the inside of 2. Not really going to do much there. He's now going to have a look. Can he squeeze in the inside of 3? He's pushing the Lamborghini along. Oh, he's going to get a move done. He needs to get alongside for the inside of 4. He's managed to draw alongside the Lamborghini. Can he do it? That's for the lead, but no. And Alexis does manage to close that door. Very well defended by the Ascaro Lambo driver. And still Scott sliding that Mercedes around. And that's Popsu on the inside of Gibbs coming into turn 5. Now he's going to get the move done. There he goes. Popsu now up into 3rd. And this is what Popsu would want. He's got his arch rival Jardier several positions down. Look at that big old queue forming up behind Berserker. That's a long old string of cars. That's a lot of pressure on the Mercedes. Oh, he got very squirrely. Oh, wow, so did the Lamborghini, a few cars down. That was possibly Ironic, who's had a pretty bad start. Ironic all the way down in 13th. He was up in 4th to start with. And wow, that's Scott getting the power down a little bit early and getting a big old swapper on. But now Popsu is going to be right on his case. if not by the end of the next lap, and probably within the next few turns, that red and black Audi's going to be there.
I'm amazed at this turn of pace by Scott. We know Scott's a quick driver. We know Ed Alexis is a quick driver. Scott just looks like he's in a different race compared to everybody else. Within 4 laps, he's gone from seventh to second, and he's not relenting on this pressure on Ed Alexis.
Absolutely, and fair play to Ed Alexis. He's defending very, very well. It doesn't look like Pops's in a hurry to get involved with the battle ahead, and fair enough, it's a long race ahead. We're only on lap 5 out of 52. Because the first lap was the formation lap. Heidi has not managed to get past Zenny. Now, he can't really afford to be stuck behind these guys for too long. Jardier nailed to the back of the Z4. And Zenny is trying to get past Gibbs as well, so a big old bottleneck there, and that's Heidi really showing his intent. Unless he was going to try a mad dive bomb there on the inside of 4. I don't think that was really an intention to make an overtake, but look how loose the tail of that Z4 is. It is quite early in the morning, it's about 6 a.m. Game time at the moment, but we're seeing a lot of people do that actually, just where the car just does not want to grip. This is getting very, very slidey, and Popsu again, he's within half a second now of Scott. Scott is absolutely wanting to get past Ed Alexis. Wow, and again there's the tail of that red and black Audi getting very, very loose. Is he going to have a look on the inside of 10? This is his best opportunity now. Can he outbrake the Lambo? No, he doesn't, but he's managed to get alongside. Oh, bit of nudging. There was a bit of lag going on there as well. Pops is going to try and come through as well. Ed Alexis, with his expert defending, had finally failed him. He's just fought off Pops, so now Scott has got the prime opportunity to get out there and leg it to try and get away from those chasing.
That was a great move by Scott. Ed Alexis has been sort of defending of like, if you don't commit to the move, you won't get past me. I'm going to turn in, and it was working. But Scott just, I'm not quite sure if there was any bumping as any pits, but Scott just managed to get enough of the car on the inside to make Ed Alexis give him room.
Now again, the mandatory pit stop is still there, and that's Popsu on Ed Alexis. Wow, Popsu didn't want to hang around. He did not want to be held up behind the Lamborghini, but he's not managed to get the move done yet. Through 2. Oh, now it's got the inside for 3. Oh, Ed Alexis could not fend off Popsu for too long, and that is second then for the red and black Audi. That is not what Scott would have wanted. He would have wanted more time. He still managed to open up a second and a half, to be fair. And that's to Heidi then, and Jardier now 4th and 5th. They have managed to get past Gibbs a little while ago, and of course with Zenny coming in as well. There's Nesterovic in the black and red Lamborghini. Heidi is defending for everything he's got against Jardier at the moment.
This is championship lead right here. This is still not being here. If these two finish, they're taking the championship lead. The Gibbs had a little bit of an off, it looks like, at turn 1.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And it's right. He's only dropped down to 7th, but he did fall off.
Yeah, Jardier and Heidi yet again crossing towards Berserker. He's lost that position to Conor McCoy. Oh, he's off. He's wandered off the road at turn 9, and that's going to give the position back to Ironic. And Andrex is in this race. I forgot to mention that actually. Andrex is he's running the Ginetta, interestingly. Now it has been agreed. Now Andrex is not eligible for points. He has actually been allowed to take part. Just so we have another car on the grid to talk about. But he has actually opted to potentially run a different car each week. So
he's already said he's planning on potentially the Porsche.
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
He's trying to at least keep it consistent with the light blue livery, but. Yeah.
Seems to be his thing, and Dav is lagging quite badly in that Z4. It's quite nerve-wracking when you're near a driver that is quite clearly lagging around. And Zenny actually came out last. There he is in the Audi at the back of the shot. And Jardier again sizing up to Heidi. They're now coming through turn 3. Is he going to be able to do anything about it? It's difficult when you've got someone holding onto the inside line, and we know how good these two are. And you've just seen that was Popsy going out of the shot then. He has closed in on Scott, so Scott didn't. He's going to have to defend quite hard from Popsy before too long. And Jardier is either biding his time, or he's just having to really keep the pressure on. I suspect it's the latter. I suspect he's actually really trying to get a move done onto Heidi, but he's too quick at the times he needs to be to defend against the Audi.
It's kind of the opposite to what we had last week, when we saw Heidi with that tremendous drive. Jardier was kind of the only one really that could hold a candle to his pace, but when Heidi was behind Jardier that opening stint last week, it was you almost got the feeling that Heidi could just pass whenever, but instead he chose strategy over on track, which is a solution you can take. But this time it's looking like they're pretty evenly matched here.
Yeah. I'm not convinced, actually, because we've seen Heidi a few times coming. Whoa, that's committed from Ironic there. A little bit deep coming into turn 11. He's got that little Ginetta. The Ginetta's not a bad car, I think, for this particular track. You've got that very long straight 16 through to turn 1. Wow, Ironic. That's that's one way to do it, I suppose. But I imagine that Ginetta's probably going to be quite good in the corners, of which this track has 16 of them. So again, still that Scott is sliding that Mercedes around. He'd lost half a second on Popsy last time around, so I think Scott's going to have a pretty hard time keeping that red and black Audi behind him. And you can see in the background there, Heidi is on the back of Alexis, but of course he's got Jardier for company as well. So battles up and down the field as always. That's always what we like to see.
Absolutely. There's always action in these races, and so it's kind of amazing with these, because I didn't get the joy of commentating on this the last big an hour and a half event, but there's no relenting in these races, it seems. There's no, well, I've got time later. It's like, I'm going for it. I want to get past. I want to get ahead. That's it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, they don't want to lose time behind someone sufficiently. And as Jardier did, I bet you Jardier had either just a bad run out of 9 or a slowdown warning. And that's Heidi then trying to get on the inside of Alexis before they come through to 11. He's managed to get the move done. Very nice. Alexis didn't have a particular. He was slightly sideways coming through 10, but it wasn't too bad. But Heidi had a stunning drive out of that turn just when he needed it. Now it's going to be his opportunity to get some distance between himself and Jardier. Jardier was actually quite slow out of 9, so whether he had a slowdown warning or whether he had a particularly bad run, but suddenly there was 6/10 between the Audi and the Z4. But it does look like now Jardier is going to shape up the move as Villalobos brings his Z4 in. There goes the Audi, and Alexis didn't try and defend that one. That's going to be a pretty simple move for Jardier, and that's not going to please the Heidi at all. As Nagrum brings his Lamborghini in. Yep, there we go. That's 4th then for Jardier. And Alexis knew that one was done, and lets the Audi go. And Scott still defending from Popsu. Absolutely fair enough for the race lead. Oh, Popsu really showing his intent. He wants to get through that Mercedes. And well defended again coming into turn 5. Scott holding on to that inside line. Not really going to get, well, you can try an outside move there. I don't imagine it's going to work too well. Through 6 into 7 and 8. It's going to be turn 10 really that Popsy is probably going to try and throw it on the inside. That's going to be the popular overtaking spot unless Scott goes too deep here into 9. Nope, that looks fine. Both drivers keeping their cars nicely on the tarmac, and look at the drive that Scott had. He got the drive exactly when he needed it on the 80 to 9 to put sufficient distance between himself and Popsy, and that's the way to throw it away as well. So, and there in the background you can see that's Heidi and Jardier is going to be on this battle fairly soon. It's about 2.5 seconds between the Audi and the Z4, so Scott is defending brilliantly well.
Absolutely. It looks so good for Scott at the start, and Popsu, who by all accounts had an awful attempt in the last big event like this we had. He finished 20th in that one. He's 10 laps in, he's fighting for the lead. He'll be far happier with this one so far, I guess.
Oh, is that Alexis putting pressure on Jardier? No, it can't be. I saw from the distance it looked like the Lambo was actually on the back of Jardier. They're actually 1.5 seconds apart. But for a moment there, I thought Alexis had caught back up with Jardier. But no, he's not able to close it on. He's going to have Nesterovic on his case pretty soon at that particular rate. Nesterovic gained about 6/10 last time. And there it is again. Popsu pushing that Mercedes. He's going to have a look at the inside. Oh, no, that's not how you... Oh, no! No. That was exceedingly clumsy by both of them, I think. And Scott's legged it down the road. Popsy then dropped to 5th in between the two Lambos. And there goes to Heidi. I think what Scott will probably do is fall back to allow...
He really should.
He really ought to, yeah. That was...
I
mean, he had closed the inside off, to be fair. I mean, it really wasn't an opportunity to try and squeeze through when there was no gap there. But
it was a ballsy move by Popsy to go to go so late on the inside, and he got alongside.
He did.
It's live commentary, so we'll look back at it again at some point, I'm sure, with other camera angles if it ends up going to stewards, but
which I suspect it will.
It probably will do, yes.
Yeah, I would imagine that one will. Battle for the lead results in one of the combatants spinning. Yes, I fully expect that one to be in the stewards by post race, but it's up.
The good news is they're both alive and they're both carrying on.
Yeah,
they're both still in this.
No damage caused. Not that we can see anyway, but Scott's not looking to slow down, and he's looking to get that lead back again.
Like it, does it?
No, he wants back in the driving seat then. So keeping the pressure on the Z4, Jardier can just sit back and wait for that battle to pan out. He'll hope for the same kind of result again. 2 Desert Pack print his car in from 15th position. So,
I'd like to point out, I am waiting to go and have a look at the rest of the field, but there's been such a tremendous scrap for the lead at most points during this race. It's making it difficult.
Yeah, exactly that. So, and just saw in the background there, Popsy on the back of Adalexis. I'm not. Again, we saw how well Adalexis was defending in the first few laps against Scott. So we'll see then how well he can defend against Popsy. And you can see how much opposite lock that Mercedes is having to put in. The Audi and particularly the Z4 as well look very, very balanced. And every single corner, Scott is having to put opposite lock in. His tyres will not like that for this length of time.
There's the idea of driving on the limit. It looks like Scott is driving over the limit regularly.
Yes. So either he's just pushing too hard, which is, of course, possible. It's very easy to overdrive these cars, or it's just the fact that his setup is very, very loose. Or mind you saying that, there's a little bit of opposite lock there by Jardier, so it could well be that it might be a little bit more obvious in the Mercedes as we were staring at it at that particular time. But we've seen a lot of people sliding their cars around. It's a 1.5 hour race. They really don't want to be doing that. They have to come in anyway. But if they don't have to change their tyres, then they would prefer not to. It's a long pit stop if they are having to change tyres. There's Popsy on the back of Adalexis, less than 2 tenths between them. Is he going to throw it on the inside coming into turn 1? And Adalexis doesn't defend the inside line. Popsy doesn't go for it though. Oh, and again you can see the opposite lock going on the Audi as well. So I think everybody is kind of struggling in the same way. Van Ommen brings his car in from 13th position. Oh, that was an interesting inside manoeuvre he was going for. There's Bo on Andrex, our sole Ginetta. I think Andrex let that one go because he doesn't want to get into battles where it ends up being the same way that Scott and Popsy did. Because of course Andrex is not eligible for points in this series. Popsy's still stuck behind the Lamborghini. But I don't know that Popsy's losing any particular time on the lead 3 because the lead 3 are all battling. Although De Heidi has managed to break away a little bit from Scott. So De Heidi now does have a bit of an opportunity to start breaking away. But I bet you Popsy is furious.
He will... It'll be annoying, but in these situations, you've just got to keep calm. You know you're still in the race. You've got good pace. There's a long way to go. And if Scott's damaging his tyres, he's very entertaining, but interesting driving style. Then it could very well come back straight back to Pops. But it's not where you want.
Ironic's the first to clock up a penalty. He's got himself a track extension one. Oh, wow, that's not really a side-by-side place for Pop, so he needs a decent drive on the exit of 15. Whoa, and Adalexis gone wide. Popsy then, with the relentless pressure he's put on, it's now yielded that 4th place back to the red and black Audis. Through he goes. Adalexis having a think about it. It looks like on the inside for turn 1. He's going to be too far back for that. Nistera, which is looming right behind him. He's been there all race long, and it does look... Oh, did Adalexis go a bit deep into that turn? We don't know. Scott still defending from Jardier, and Heidi's not gone too far down the road. I thought he'd gone a bit further than that, but looking at the lap times, 45.0, 45.2, 45.0, 25.8, of course, from Popsy, because he's just completed that move on Alexis. So Dahaidi's not... I just thought he'd use his opportunity to leg it, but unless, of course, he is pushing as hard as he possibly can, and Scott has some very good pace in that Mercedes to still defend from Jardier and keep up with the Z4.
It could very well be, and I'm sure Jardier will be not happy to see Dahaidi get past Scott, and then they're going to sit behind him. It's just disrupts his rhythm. He's been stuck with Dahaidi the entire way, and if Dahaidi does start to build that gap, he's got to get past Scott quickly, or he's going to lose touch with him. Storm's in the chat. Hi, Storm
is in the chat.
Everybody else.
Yes, and welcome to everybody that is in the chat. We haven't forgotten you. We can see the other. Oh, Pops who spun it on the exit of 10. Yeah, that's gonna cost him. I don't know. It's cost him a great deal of time. 4 tenths, half a second. Yeah, about half a second. Right. Yeah, that was a part spin, but yeah, he is pushing like mad to catch up with everybody. So you just settle that down. You've got time to close that gap down, but yeah, I think there's still a little bit of red mist going on there from the earlier issue, but we'll see. And that's had Alexis in. He's brought that blue and black Lambo in. You can see that on the left hand side of the shot. There is Popsu, because even still was 45.7, 44.8 by Dahaidi, 44.7 from Scott. That was 3 tenths quicker than Jardier. So there is the gap. You can see for yourself. So Jardier could well be having tyre problems. We're seeing pretty much everybody having to put opposite lock in. So it could be he's having to back off a little bit just to bring the tyres back down if they're overheating this early on. I mean, they will at least want to get to the 26, 27, lap 26, 27 before they get rid of those tyres to at least try and make it a one stop. They do not want to have to come in twice.
Absolutely. It's interesting to see Scott with such good pace as well. I'm sure Jardier wasn't expecting that. And no, yeah. I also suspect Dahaidi wasn't. I think Dahaidi was probably hoping he'd pass Scott and then clear off down the road. To see the Mercedes still there, he can't afford a mistake.
No, indeed. As Scott proved last lap, he's got plenty of pace in that Mercedes to at least keep up with Dahaidi in the Z4. So it could well come down to a bit of pit strategy as well. But Scott will have a bit of a disadvantage if he has got damage on that Mercedes following that impact from Pop. Oh, that's Gibbs. Overcooked it a turn. It's so easy to do, though. I mean, everything looks very flat from this particular perspective, but it's actually surprisingly bumpy down there in turn 10. So
it is, and it's easy to brake so late, and then next thing you know, you're backwards facing the wrong way.
Danny Vandermeer's then closed right in on the Thrustmaster coloured Audi. Had to think about it on the inside of 16. You'll need a hell of a drive to make a pass there. So there he goes. He's sitting right there in the slipstream. You need to be a bit closer than that to make a move into one. There was Misterowicz just going out the bottom of the shot. And is he going to try something? No. He realises he's not close enough for that. It's a fairly moderate braking zone. You're not coming down to crawling speed coming into turn 1, so you do have to be very, very committed very early to make a move into turn 1. So he will carry on then chasing Gibbs for a while yet.
I very nearly put the commentator's curse on Gibbs, because I was about to cut to him and go, oh, look at Gibbs, he's running in 6th, he's doing alright, and then we click on him and he's backwards. But I didn't say it, so I didn't cause it.
You cannot be laid claim to that one. There is Conor McGoy, a little bit on his own there, 5.5 behind Danny, 2 and a bit ahead of Dav. He's still having a bit of a lag issue in the Z4, but not a bad performance from him in 9th. There is Bo in the white Mercedes in 10th position. There is the plucky little Janetta in 11th, piloted by Andrex, with Ironic behind. So Ironic's race has started well, but has gone very badly wrong. He's now down in 12th with that penalty. What's Ironic's penalty? 1 second. So that's a corner. That's a track extend.
It's quite nice to see Andrex on the pace a little bit more this week. He jumped in at the very last second last week at Brno, and he went round. He wasn't too far off the pace. He certainly got quicker as the race went on, but now it certainly seems to be a little bit more on the money this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I did speak to him about that, and yeah, exactly as you say, he was literally just before the lobby went live. So you fancy having a go? And Scott has lost that second position to Jardier. finally the Audi has worked his way past as Dav brings his Z4 in. And again, you can just see when you're having to turn left into a long right-hander, things aren't going too well. De Heide has now capitalised. De Heide gained 1.1 seconds over Jardier last time. Scott made a big mistake then. It was 46.6 for the Mercedes last time around, and he's got Popsy bearing in on him again. That's going to be interesting when that battle resumes. And
it'll be
again,
interesting now to see how well Scott can keep that pace up now. Jardier's got clear air.
Yeah,
it's one thing to stay that fast behind somebody else, but if or with someone behind you, but if you can keep that pace up whilst directly behind somebody else with all that dirty air, and that's a bit more impressive.
Yeah, 44 for... Oh, and Scott's lost a bit of time there. So either a bad run out of 9, or I don't think it's a slowdown. He didn't slow down enough for it to be a slowdown warning, but that, of course, has put Popsy right back on his tail. Ding, ding, round 2. So here it is again. Popsy then half a second behind the Mercedes again. And 44.5 was Popsy. Wow, crikey. Popsy was the quickest man by at least 0.3 in that last lap. He gained over 2 seconds on Scott in that last lap alone. So we didn't see what the error was by Scott, but it really has brought this battle back together again. And De Heide's 3 seconds down the road ahead of Jardier. So Jardier won't be happy that he's lost that time against his main championship rival, but they press on nonetheless. There is Ironic with Zenny directly behind him.
I bring this one and this one up because if you would like to look at their last laps,
44.9, 44.8. Wow, they've got...
That is leader's pace.
It is very much leader's pace. That's very impressive, which kind of shows that Ironic really has had a bad start, or bad quarter of the race, because he started in 4th, I believe it was. He's obviously incurred that penalty, but he's got the pace in the car. Last lap's not quite so good, but when the lap hooks up, they've really got the pace to... And this is exactly what we've seen pretty much all season long, is that the lap times really, top to bottom, are not that far apart. Oh, this is Popsy now. Oh, let's ride on board with Popsy then, because this is going to look fascinating from his side. There it is. And that Mercedes didn't look too quick coming through 9, but it was quick enough to keep Popsy at bay. And Scott defending that inside line. Popsy goes for an outside move on turn 10. That's going to be brave, but he can't get the traction when he needs it. The bumps and the lack of traction just acting against him in that particular moment. He also doesn't want to risk another impact with that blue Mercedes. So now round turn 12 into 13. You're a brave man if you try an inside move there. Now through 14, 15, he needs... Oh, he's a bit too close. You want to back off and try and get a decent drive. And there I think he had to either hit the curb a bit hard, or he had to back away a little bit, because that's lost him that crucial momentum to close in and try and get the momentum he needs into turn 1. Let's see, that's half a second, way too far back. There's Danny Vandermeer on the back of Gibbs. This battle going on for 6th position. That's been rolling on for a while. And there in the background you can see Colonel McCoy very much on his own, and Bo in the white Mercedes. Is Danny going to have a look? No, again he's too far back. Try and move into turn 1. Then Popsy is closed back into 2/10 now. That's coming up to turn 4. He's going to have a think about it into turn 5, is where it all unravelled for them last time. Let's see what he does.
He'll do the same again.
Well, no, he's opted for a safer move. He's now going to go outside for turn 5. Can he get it done? He's going to... Oh, but again, the traction just not there when he needs it. Good driving by Scott then to keep the Mercedes ahead, as Berserker brings his car in from, I think it was 13th place. Oh, yeah. And just... Popsy is pushing yet again that Mercedes through, but he's just losing traction at the very time he needs it. And Scott's staying very much to the inside line. He's not risking. This is very close now. Popsy then thinking about outside manoeuvre at 10 again, but Scott once again parks it on the apex, and Jardier's gone. He's got himself, what has he got? 2.1 seconds at least. That's how much time this battle has cost Scott. He's defending so hard against Popsy. He's lost so much time with Jardier. Jardier now running off to try and catch up with De Heide, but De Heide's getting 44 4s in that Z4. That's yet again a lot of 4s in that centres. Oh, Popsy was trying to force his way through the inside of 16. He is closer, but again, Scott's had just enough drive to keep Popsy at bay unless Popsy throws it on the inside of 1. But again, he's too far back. So Scott, yet again, showing a defensive masterclass as who's coming from 7th?
Danny Van der Meer.
Oh, Danny Van der Meer, yes, of course. Yep,
In that battle with Gibbs, he's decided to jump out of the way of that one. Scott at the minute is defending so well. He defended turn 5 and made sure that there wasn't even an opportunity for Popsy to put his car down the inside. And then at turn 10, he just sat on the apex just long enough to stop Popsy with the switchback.
Brilliant, yep. So you just killed Popsy's momentum, and that's all part of defensive driving. It's one thing to stop the initial move, but it's all about the counter-attack after the apex, and if you destroy the momentum from your attacker, then that is exactly that's the exact thing that he's looking for. It's ironic on the back of Zenny. That's the now battle for 10th position that's raging on between those between the Lambo and the Audi. There's Popsu again. No, he's a little bit too far back. Scott is defending very heavily. Oh, that's not how you do that. That's a little bit of a revenge tap from Popsy. A little bit brutish there, but that could have actually caused significant enough damage to Popsy's car to start affecting the handling of that car. It's a very dangerous way of doing it. Scott was entitled to take that defensive line, and Popsy just basically just rammed into the back of him. I think Popsy was expecting Scott to be a little bit quicker than that, but he has gone into that 3rd position anyway. I think there's going to be word said between these two post-race.
I wouldn't be surprised if we had more than one inquiry, put it that way.
I think, as much as we hate to say it, but I think that's what we're potentially looking at.
It's not what we want to see, but it was both of their incidents has been a little aggressive.
Well, the first one ended up from aggressive to clumsy, and then that one was just that was a little bit red mist fueled, I suspect. But I'm sure we will find out if that does come to the stewards. They may kind of decide that, 1-1, let's call it quits, but we will see. That's up to the stewards to decide. That's not for the commentators to figure out. So let's have a quick look then. Who's where? Heidi leads the race. 1:44.5 was his last lap. Leads 3.5 seconds over Jardier, the next championship rival in the Audi. Next up is that battle for 3rd. We've been watching Popsu and Scott. Popsu finally relieving the Mercedes of that spot. There is Nestero, which he's been pretty well minding his own business for the most part of the race. There is Gibbs, who has been chased for a while by Danny Van der Meer, but now finds himself with some clean air fore and aft. 7th is Conor McCoy, who's got Bo on his case. I think Bo has been closing that gap down little by little over the last few laps, but the white Mercedes is getting close to Conor McCoy. Andrex in the it was rather a showcase drive there in the little Ginetta in 9th position. Not bad at all. Zenny in the Audi has got Ironic for company in 10th and 11th. Villalobos is 12th in the Z4. He's very much no man's land there, along with Van der Meer after his pit stop. And these, again, the Rallycross moves out as well. In the black Audi there is Alexis, whose race is not going well, I think it's fair to say.
He's pitted.
He has done, but
hasn't. Zenny down have pitted.
Yeah, but I thought you would have. Well, mind you, a lot of people haven't pitted yet, so yeah, that's possibly a little unfair for me to say. Nagrin behind, he definitely has pitted. I remember that one, along with Vanelman in 16th position in the Audi. There is Tudor Park in the next Audi down the road with Berserker at the tail of the field. We've actually lost another.
Dav.
Oh, the lagging Z4.
A little bit, wasn't he?
Actually, the 2 drivers we've lost have actually been lag related.
Absolutely.
Which were Nick Pido and Dav. So yeah, a bit of a shame. But that is the nature of the beast. And wow, Popsu 44.3 last time around.
Yeah.
So now that he's got past Scott and the Mercedes, just saw them at the back of the shot there. He wants to close in on those ahead. He's got a good couple of seconds to close down, but Heidi is just gone. Now nearly 4 seconds is his lead over Jardier, which of course can completely change. We've seen half spins several times already this race. Looks like he's catching up with someone to give the lap of them. That's Bo on Conor McCoy. That's now, they were a second apart last lap. Bo really has closed in pretty well. Is he going to try into turn 10? Oh dear. Oh no, that's the livery. That livery catches me out every time. It looks like It looks like he scraped the wall. That's my initial instinct, and then realise it's just a very, very patterned side to the car, especially as the other side isn't the same. So it catches me out every time, that one. You'll see what I mean as he comes around. Look, see?
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that one.
So
Popsu 44-1.
Oh, crikey! What? That's wide, Colonel McCoy.
And side by side through the chicane. That's already a tight chicane without going side by side. The side by side through the final corner. That doesn't usually happen.
And
It'll be a straight drag race now.
Oh, that was brilliant! That was brilliantly done by both of them because no impact there, and the Mercedes is hardly small. So Bo has gone up into 7th. That's Colonel McCoy coming straight back at him. He's going to get the inside for turn 1. But can Bo hang on for try and get an inside for 2? Well done! Well defended by Bo in the Mercedes to keep Colonel McCoy behind him. Absolutely top notch by the pair of them.
Absolutely, he capitalised on McCoy's mistake at turn 13, 14, and he fought through it down the pit straight and then defended it into turn 1. Lovely.
Very nicely done indeed. It's nice to be able to get the camera on some drivers that don't always get as much airtime as some of the others. Obviously, with the battling that we've had this race, it's any wonder that the same drivers keep getting the camera pointed at them. It's nice to see other battles up and down, such as this one, which is 2 Desert back chasing Van Om, and this is for 16th. Of course, these guys have been through the pits. They went through the pits a while ago. Of course, a lot of people have yet to pit. They will do, because none of them will be carrying enough fuel to do the necessary amount of laps. But of course, a mandatory pit stop is part of the rules, so they will have to come in whether they like it or not. But again, the question mark will come down to tyres as well. That's Zenny on the back of Andrex. That's for 9th. But it is highly possible that Andrex may not necessarily look to defend. He may do to a point, but he will not jeopardise other drivers. Whoops, that's committed, Zenny. It's ironic he's actually not far behind this battle either in the Lambo. There he is. He was one of the first to pit, so so him and Zenny are the lead pair or the lead drivers of those that have pitted, I think, from what you were saying earlier.
From what I remember, yes. I decided today, because it was the longer race, I wasn't going to write him down, and I regret it already.
See, Zenny, of course, being on Andrex, jumped out of the way. Yeah, I thought he would.
It's fair enough.
Yeah. And again, he doesn't want to jeopardise other people's championships as he's not involved in it himself. So fair enough, Zenny through to 9th. But he is probably going to chase the Audi. He won't let him go entirely without a challenge, but he will not hold up anybody. And actually, last time around, Zenny did a 44.6, which was the same as what the Heidi did last lap as well. 44.3 from Popsy, so he really is getting the hammer down.
I would say this gentleman here is the fastest man on track right now.
I would certainly agree with that from what we've seen. He is catching up with his arch nemesis from last season, Jardier. So that's going to be an interesting battle, especially if he's still carrying a bit of the red mist from the tanglings with that blue Mercedes from earlier. Which is so, I was going to say, it's so easy to do when you, especially when you're entering into a longer race, you kind of have your strategy, you have your idea of how you want to run your race, and if something disrupts that, it's very hard sometimes to get back into the room and just think, right, come on, calm down, settle that. 44.1 again from Popsu, 45.1, so Scott lost a full second on the back of the Audi last time around. So wow, 44.8 actually from Mysterio as well, so there's pace to be had from others as well. Again, 44.9 out of Alexis further down the field.
It's right what you say though about of keeping in control of your race. It's so easy once things start going wrong to just keep going wrong. It's similar thing if something goes wrong first thing in the morning. It's so easy to let that ruin your entire day.
Oh, true, absolutely true.
And usually it's just the alarm going on.
Yeah, it's enough to set you off in a bad way, even when you have to get up.
Absolutely. Oh, I was deceived by that gap. I thought Andrex was going to have a go at Zenny, but nay, it is not to be.
It's a bit of a shame, but it is understandable. There's ironic about it. There's Nagram, 2.5 seconds behind Alexis at the moment.
I just wanted to look at that nice Lamborghini colours.
I
think it was Nagram that got involved in that little bump on the formation lap. I vaguely remember seeing that car get a little thump.
Yes, I think he was kind of shoved off rather unceremoniously from, I think, was it Nick Meadows' McLaren? Well, I think it was as a result of the panic from, I don't think he actually hit anybody, but of course the panic from the lag caused people to scatter, which you can understand as well.
Today's pack has cleared Mr. Van Orman, it seems.
Mm-hmm. That's for 16th position. The Audi's swapping positions. The ACR liveried Van Orman. Still some way to go though as we approach halfway in this particular race. Led by De Heidi, still by 3.5 seconds. Jardier did a 44.2, 44 flat from Popsu. He is on a mission to close it, and at that rate he absolutely will, as long as he doesn't carry well, I was saying earlier he may have affected the handling of that car with potential damage after bumping into the back of Scott. I mean, the Audi bumping into the back of a Mercedes is rather like any normal car bumping into a wall, but it's either improved the handling or it just hasn't made a blind bit of difference and he's just pressing on like a madman. He'd 4.5 seconds down from De Heidi with still quite a decent handful of laps left to go. He could well be right in this fight. Absolutely,
there's so well. I mean, we're just coming up to half race distance nearly, which has flown by, as it always does.
Yes.
You look at De Heidi, like he's okay. He's at the minute he's 3.5, 4 seconds clear of Jardier. Has been for the last 7 or 8 laps. Yeah, Popsu is just steadily every single lap, maybe it be by 1/10 or 3/10 or 6/10, he's reeling Jardier in.
And I don't reckon De Heidi? I'm now mixing up De Heidi and Jardier there.
A hybrid.
I don't think De Heidi or Jardier are relaxing. I think they are pushing like mad because their lap times are still very, very, very quick. So they're not letting up. They are pressing on. But Popsu is just on another level at the moment. Let's just hope he can maintain that momentum without throwing. Because all it takes is one mistake and everything you've been working towards for the last 10 laps is gone.
Absolutely. And they really can't afford it.
No.
And I'm pretty sure none of them want to get stuck behind this guy, knowing how well he's got his wipers on.
I'm not sure what he's expecting. Maybe he's hoping... Okay.
I wonder if that's just a graphical glitch for the replay, or whether he's decided that he's the ultimate in forecast, considering that we know it's not going to rain.
No, maybe he's hoping the rain will come.
Perhaps it's, how like modern cars now, they always, whenever the car is on, the lights are on. Yeah. Maybe it's the same sort of thing. Although I imagine just on the windscreen will start to get pretty tiresome pretty quick.
Oh, that's just adding distraction for the sake of it. I don't have anybody else to challenge me, so I'm going to add more challenge to myself.
I'm going to make the race more challenging.
Yeah. Well, each to their own, I suppose. That's a slightly different way of looking at it. There's Van Orman still chasing Tutel back. They swapped around a couple of laps ago. Oh.
This gentleman.
Oh,
has
yes.
Just picked up a time penalty. It's only a little one, but he has got himself from the naughty board.
Indeed. It's, again, easily done when you're trying to push to make up time. You don't back off enough to let the penalty slide. I
think De Heidi has decided he's concerned at the approaching Popsu, perhaps.
44-1 last time. Let's see what he does this time. There's Jardier, there's Popsu, the top 3.
Another 44-1.
Blimey. That's consistent. Oh, Jardier, 44-0. Wow, God, blimey. 44-6.
We're going to be in the 43s.
Very soon. Yeah, by 4,000ths of a second, Jardier missed out on the 43s. Of course, they've still got... Actually, how much fuel are they carrying? Bring up the speedo on that one, please, Stevie. So 57 litres for De Heidi. 52 for Jardier. So near enough the same amount of fuel, so they're quite heavy on fuel at the moment. So as that comes down, the lap times are going to continue to improve. So 44.6, which is still damn quick, is just not quite as quick as what Jardier managed to do. So that's definitely the fastest lap of the race we've seen, that 44.0. Scott still getting the 44s, 44.8 for him and Nesterowicz behind.
Nesterowicz is having a really solid, quiet race. He's stayed out of all the chaos and the battles, and he's At the minute, he's matching Scott at the minute. And for someone who was leading the race earlier, that's always a nice little claim to fame.
Yeah. Ironic has bring his car. Isn't Ironic already been in?
I thought... you did that again, Alexis. You overtook him as I clicked.
It's annoying, that, isn't it?
It's very annoying. As in comes Ironic. I'm pretty sure he's been in already.
I thought he'd been in already, but maybe he's picked up some damage somewhere. It looks like it was 47, so he wasn't desperately off the pace last time. So I'm not sure what's happened to Ironic there. But looking at Chardier then, and just waiting for them to complete their laps for Heidi. 44-0, my God. 43? Oh my goodness me! Oh, all three of them 44-0. You cannot ask for more consistency than that. The top three within 0.04 of a second. You can't ask for, well, you can, but you're not likely to get it. Wow! The top three, 2 Audis and 1 Z4 within 0.04 of a second. Top to bottom. That's incredible.
Absolutely. That is 3 drivers absolutely pushing it.
Yeah. That they are absolutely wringing the neck out of those cars. Now, of course, with Popsy being involved in those earlier incidents, it could well be a post-race decision that affects his position right now, so he's got more reason to push. Well, you always want to push for the win, of course you do, but of course he's got that looming over him. There may well be those post-race inquiries. They may sort it out between each other and not raise a steward's inquiry. It's not mandatory for them to do so, of course. Danny Vandermeer on the back of Alexis again. The Lambo defending against the Audi. Wow, the Lambo going very early to that defensive line. And Danny Vandermeer minding his own business. Nagram not too far behind. So these two collide. He's right there to capitalise on it.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
On the graphics, I've got the list of drivers, and you can see when they have a penalty and it goes red. Very convenient. Danny has a hazards triangle.
It means he is within a second of the car ahead.
Oh, that's handy.
Yes,
I clicked on him thinking we were going to see him backwards or upside down in a hedge.
No. It simply means they are close to somebody ahead of them.
Now, that would have been handy to know in previous rounds.
Well, there you go. Lesson
look
learned.
at this. There's Zenny. He was briefly within a second. The things you learn, man.
There you go. It's something like a second or a second and a half or so. I forget exactly what the time is, but it basically indicates when someone is getting close to somebody else. So, so Zenny, just having a quick look. Yeah, Danny will have. I think, if I'm judging the timing right, they're probably the only two that do.
Oh.
Nagram
briefly had it.
Briefly, yeah, because just in the braking zone there. Yeah, that's
things you learn.
Look at the top three again!
Oh my god!
44-2!
1,000th of a second between Heidi and Jardier. And that is 2 completely different drivers in 2 completely different cars with 2 completely different setups, setting lap times to within 1,000th of a second.
That's amazing. And Popsu only 200ths off of the pair of them. That's amazing.
Blinking is slower than 1,000th of a second.
Very much so. I mean, are they actually attached by some kind of invisible rope or something?
It's just a Heidi. He's just pulling them around.
Well, that'll be it. Yeah, the other two aren't. They're just steering.
Yeah.
They're making the engine noise themselves. Amazing. They're sticking their head out the way.
Like a dog on the way to the beach. Or me, anywhere. No?
Yes.
Another one.
44-2.
Fast laps coming up though.
Yeah, look at that again. 44-2, 44-3, 44-3. Again, the consistency of the top three is absolutely mad. Yeah, 44-8 by Scott, 44-6 Nesterowicz, 44-7 rather. So again, he's getting consistent mid to late 44s. That's pretty good as well.
The pace is just ramping up and up. It is amazing.
It's the consistency of the speed as well that absolutely amazes me. 44.5 actually by Zenny. I think that was the lap you were highlighting earlier. in ninth there, 44.7 by Ad Alexis. And even the bottom end is 46, so not too far back. In GT3
and even every now and again, one of them, like Nagram, 54, that would be very bad.
That wouldn't be.
45.2 is not too far off.
No, absolutely not.
Consider that's 4/10 slower than what Scott did, and Scott's in fourth.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I think that when these guys pit is also going to... I do wonder whether the top three are all going to come in at once. As soon as one blinks... As soon as one blinks, I do wonder whether they're all just going to copy one another. But, yeah, we never know. Zenny thinking about a move on Colonel McCoy, coming through turn 5, but opts not to go for that one. Oh, and that was a little close there. Zenny on Colonel McCoy's tail. Oh, is he going to think about it into 7? That would be brave, but no, he's just taking a slightly narrower line through. Oops! No, that's not. Big old, well held there by Zenny. Just lost the tail coming through 7 and 8.
That was pushing.
Just a bit, yeah, that would have woken him up somewhat. But of course, loses in the momentum he would have wanted coming into 10. But he continues to press on. That was Bo just going out at the top of the shot. And now, wow, that's that's determined. That. You're possibly pushing a little hard there in the wrong places, Zenny. You're not really going to try and move. Oh, that was kind of going very wide. That's going to lose in the momentum. Oh, let's jump on board with Zenny. Let's watch him go through this one. Look at that. It's absolutely exact the same pace. There he goes. Oh, no! This could get very ugly. Oh, that was amazing dedication there by Zenny. He could have easily backed out of that. Colonel McCoy. Oops, as Colonel McCoy spun it.
Oh.
There was no impact there. I think
he just dropped it.
Yeah, there goes Andrex. That's Villa Lobos going through in the Z4. Yep, I think Colonel McCoy thought he'd had that one covered off, and suddenly, wild Zenny appears.
Absolutely, that was interesting that McCoy was like, no, I'm not going to let you through. You're going to have to work for it, and Zenny willingly obliged.
Yeah, didn't he just? That was a great overtake to see. As Danny Vandermeer continues to chase out Alexis for 14th place, 44.2, 44.9 by Nagram, who's just right behind them in the Lambo. So he could 44.8 actually by 2 Desert Pack. He's unfortunately 12 seconds down the road from this particular battle, but there is pace out there to be found.
Tahiti's clearly had an off somewhere. He's only done a 44.4 this lap.
Oh, disgraceful.
It's,
a whole 4/10 off his best.
It's just unreal. I don't know what is. He must have a problem. Or
wheels
something.
falling off. Or
yeah. Let's just check. No, he's okay.
No, good.
Minor lapse of concentration.
Yeah, that's what it equates to these guys. To me, a minor lapse of concentration is, off and out the escape road.
I'm in a gravel trap now. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh well, that's another wall that's got my paint written on it. So that would have helped, of course, Popsu gain a bit. That's Villa Low. Oh, that's
Berserker.
It is indeed Berserker in the black Mercedes. Is he down a lap?
He is down a lap.
Oh, that's a shame. Oh, Andrix. I thought Andrix was actually going to defend that one from Villa Lobos for a minute, but steady, Villa Lobos. Andrix will take it back if you're going to wiggle around like that. Well, there you go. He's going to think about an outside move around 3.
Outside move around 3 would be an impressive move, very Alonso-esque.
They're very much so. But opts not to go for that one, and understandably so. You've really got to have an incredible amount of pace over your adversary to do an outside manoeuvre through 3.
I'm very interested in this guy and this guy, because they were right next to each other when Danny Vandermeer pitted. And Gibbs has had clear air for, since that time.
Very true.
You 43.
43.7 from 2 cars back. Anything you can do, I could do better. My God. Popsu is still... He should now be getting that marker popping up in his name every now and then for you, Stevie. He's within 1.5 seconds of Chardier now. And Jardier will be well aware of that. Again, 44.4 is still a very impressive lap time, but Popsu again is getting on with it. We've still got another 20 laps to do, so this is and of course they've still got to come in, remember, so pretty much we're still looking at the top 7, I think, that haven't been in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or most
Jardier, on that last lap, Jardier didn't do anything wrong. That was a good lap, but the other two pulled 5 and 7 tenths respectively.
That's madness. At this pace as well. That's the other thing, is if they were doing 45s, you know, comparatively speaking, and you pull out 5 tenths, you can kind of understand it. But they're pulling, you know, alien-like times, and still, you know, the gaps are, and then we get 3 or 4 laps where they're within a few hundreds of one another. So that's absolutely amazing to see. It just goes to show the caliber of drivers that these guys truly are.
Absolutely.
Nagra?
They are absolutely on the pace. I had a little notification, so I clicked it.
Fair enough. That's Nagram on the back of Danny Vandermeer.
I've got a little 3-way scrap here for 12th place. All of them have pitted, I think. I think so, yeah. Again, as I was saying before, Dahidi and then Popsu rudely interrupted me. Although Popsu's with another 43.8 and Dahidi and Johnny with 44.0s.
Oh, Nastero, which is in.
He is in. Ooh, this will be interesting to see where he comes out. Danny Vandermeer and Gibbs were right next to each other. So I'm really looking forward to the undercut versus staying out. And Alexis has just picked up another time penalty.
Oh, wow.
It's up to 3 seconds
3 seconds now. And that will start to hurt. You know,
absolutely.
If he does that too many times, there isn't. That's not Nastero. That's Nastero.
No. Oh, he's there for a while. He's taking on the fuel, as we can see.
There he goes.
I
think it was just fuel. Because we're used to them, you know, stopping and then getting away immediately, but they could be changing tyres. They're almost certainly taking on fuel. So Nastero, which comes out in 10th, that's a pretty respectable. 43.8 from Popsu. That's a 10th off what he did last time around. So that's he's now roundabout. He's now dangerously close to within a second of Jardier, or he will get within a Jardier. Within a Jardier of a second.
It's better than the Hardier that you said earlier.
Oh, what's the Hardier?
Yes. I can confirm that the triangle notification is for a second.
Indeed.
Rather than a second and a half. He has been flirting with it. It is popping up now. It's that was an interesting sentence.
Yeah.
He is now. This will start to alarm Jardier now. Ooh. He is very much within sight. Another 43.8.
And Dustin in chat.
Pace.
Absolutely. Dustin in chat asking how long does this race go on for? This is lap 35 of 52, so we've got another quick mouse. There's 18 laps to do. These guys still have to do a pit stop. 43.8 again. He was thousandths of a second, I think, slightly slower than his last lap time. Both Dahidi and Jardier 44.1. That's what, 7 thousandths between them.
Yeah,
it's the consistency, lap on lap on lap on lap at this kind of pace. Whoop, perhaps we're wandering slightly wide on the exit of 5. But now he's got that, and this is going to really start to shake things up. I wonder, actually, Popsu might choose, if he gets underneath Jardier's rear wing, he doesn't want to lose too much time. I wonder if this is going to make Popsu pit soon.
I was going to say that the only issue with these very, very close lap times is, generally speaking, you need a slight advantage over the cars in front to get close enough to overtake, as Carl McCoy pits. I thought he'd already pit.
I don't think Adam McCoy had.
Okay.
I think his race just hasn't gone too well.
Okay. Oh, Zenny with the track limits.
Oh, Popsu! Popsu's got one. He's got a second penalty. We did see him wander too wide, actually, on the 8 to the 5, so that'll be where that would come from. So, yeah, Zenny's got one as well. I mean, but the thing is, a second penalty to Popsu is going to be far more costly than to possibly to the likes of Zenny or Ironic. It is only a second, but that could potentially hurt with how close their pace is.
Only a second, yeah. Oh, 46-2.
46, yeah. This is something bad happened to... Oh, Scott's in. So, bringing in that big old Mercedes. He's still got the windscreen wipers going.
Yeah, I hope that's a glitch. Although, I can kind of appreciate the amusement. the comic side of driving with your wipers on in a completely dry race.
Why not? Basically. Gibson goes up to 4th. That's not Popsu ahead of him. That will be... that's going to be ironic. That is just ahead of him. There is Popsu.
Tell you what, though. Considering that Popsu was 2.3 seconds slower than Jardier on the last lap, he's just gained. Well, he's back within a second.
I was going to say, Jardier must have made a mistake this time because he did 43.9 last time.
Yeah.
Scott came back out in 7th, so that was a pretty decent stop there.
Behind Zenny.
Oh, that's going to be close to Villalobos. That's the Z4. That's going to be behind him. Wow, that was close. So Scott, again, is going to have to start really getting his elbows out to keep that Z4 behind him. If he wants to hang on to that. So, yeah, good 10 seconds behind Zenny as well. So,
and that, Zenny could be in touching distance with the leaders here. Scott was about 12 seconds behind.
Oh, that was close.
That was very close.
Villalobos does not want to be stuck behind Scott at all. We thought about cutting on the inside of 5. Maybe maybe got the telegram. That's not a good idea to do.
And this is for position. Both of these drivers are pitted. 43.7 from Popsu.
Is he? Oh my god. 43.9 from Jardier. 44 flat from De Heide. That's a mental place. But all eyes at the moment on this battle of Scott and Villalobos is the Z4. Now Z4's too far back to throw it on the inside of 10, unless he's really going to be last on the late breakers. But no, Op's not too big. At the moment, it looks like that Z4 is going to really hound the back of the Mercedes for that 7th place. Background of the shot, you just saw Andrex there. He's yet to come in the Ginetta.
I'm very interested to see where Zen is going to play out in all of this. Because the top 3 will have had no idea of what Zen's paces have been like. Unless someone's been reportedly telling them every lap, which would be weird. Just to report one driver every single lap.
Yeah.
As Villalobos, Scott goes defensive.
He's not confident about keeping that Z4 behind him. That's 3.10 separating them, so he's probably not going to throw it on the inside of 1. And indeed he doesn't, as Danny Vandermeer gets his name on the naughty step as well. That's another one that's pushed the track limit slightly too far. I mean, they can get the penalties appealed, or the track time ones. They tend not to bother for the 1 second ones, but Popsy may feel aggrieved, although he did look like he did wander that little bit too far offline from our perspective on that one specific moment. We'll see how that plays out as the race continues. Villalobos then, he's lost a little bit of time coming through 3 and 4. Scott's now just beginning to get back into his pace because that gap has visibly increased. It's now around about 7/10 when they're out of the braking zone. That's Popsu then within a second of Jardier. 44.1 for De Heide, 43.9 and 43.8 the lap times for the top 3. I'm blown away by the consistency and the just sheer pace that these guys are doing.
And you can see that they're all in the same shot.
Yeah.
That is, you can look at De Heide and see the rest of the podium in the same camera.
Absolutely, yeah. There's
only
only 3
on board with Jardier. I bet you can see De Heide. There he is.
There he is.
He's just there. Look. You can just see him just up the road.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's now, that red and black Audi is a little bit too big in that rear view mirror for... Hold on a minute, how much fuel have they got on? Oh, so I just looked at the dashboard for Jardier. It actually says it's fuel 0. I was like, wow, he's invented the first air-driven Audi. That'll be impressive. Because I was just also thinking, hang on, he had 50 litres last time. He can't have burned through that, surely, but of course he hasn't.
See how anyone else is running. However else is running.
Well, the top 3 were very similar, weren't they? So 26 for De Heide, 22 for Jardier. I think Popsu was slightly more. Yeah, so again, they're still very, very close. They're not likely to run it. Oh, Popsu, that was very wide on the exit of 15.
Danny Van der Meert picks up another penalty, it seems.
44. Oh, De Heide had a slightly slower lap. 43.7 from Popsu. Wow, he is pressing on like a madman. But now he's going to get into that dangerous position where he's going to start to now be held up by battling Jardier. So he either is going to want to pressure for a mistake, or he needs to get that pit stop done. Now he will have, as part of the rules for the mandatory pit stop, they have to serve it before 5 laps of the race is remaining. So they have to do that before lap 47, or before before lap 47. So we're on lap 39 now. So he's still steady, Popsu. That was a little bit squirrely on the exit of 5. I wouldn't be at all surprised if the tyres are starting to get very, very tired by now. No pun intended.
They're certainly going to be feeling the pain a little bit here. But because this track is used as a test track, it is.
Yes.
But okay, it's a racetrack, but they use it for a lot of testing because it has a good mix of everything, and it specifically has some high-speed punishing corners for tyres.
Jardier was slow through 10. That's put Popsu right there now. That's exactly what Jardier wanted. He wanted that red and black Audi really big in his mirrors. Going through this final chicane then. Popsu just needs a decent run. He wants Jardier.
I'm just waiting for one of these three to jump in the pit.
Yeah, I think De Heide's probably going to string it out to the very last minute, knowing he's got these two. 43.6 now from Popsu.
Wow.
And again, that's probably due to the car getting a little bit lighter as well. But he's just been oh my God! Yeah, that was so much opposite lot coming through 1 and 2. So close. Let's jump on board again with Popsu, because look at that! That's absolutely incredible. Now he's 35 seconds ahead of Gibbs, so under no circumstance has Popsu got anything to worry about behind him. But he's got it all to lose. He can't just throw it away. But also, he wants to undo the track limits penalties. He can have a look at the inside of 4. No, inside of 5 rather. He opts not to go for that. He's probably still a little sour from the incident with Scott on that particular corner.
Absolutely, and they're visibly closing in, both of them, on De Heide. De Heide's not got traffic at the minute. There's a car a little bit up the road, but at the minute, this is not the time that De Heide wants to start losing a little bit of pace. He did a 44.1.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
These three are in a class of their own at the minute.
That's absolutely unreal. And coming into 10. Oh, and again, the tail of that car from Jardier doesn't want to stick. The tail of Popsu's car doesn't want to stick. Oh, that's close. Yeah, I thought that was going to happen. Popsu just a little too eager to get on with it and get literally through Jardier's Audi. That's Villalobos on the back of Scott. That's for 7th. They've been battling. Go on.
A position we thought was over.
De Heide's in.
De Heide pits.
Jardier came in as well. Now, I'm not surprised Popsu has chosen to carry on, actually, because Popsu knew how much quicker. 44.7, that's not surprising because he had that tap with Jardier. But he knows he's quicker. He's been closing in on the top 2. Oh, that's a great camera angle with... get out of the way, Lollipop Man.
You're really ruining it.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yay with the C-cam. Now, of course, they're going to be sat there for a while. Oh, no, I did wonder whether Jardier was going to jump to Heide then. So that's nearest damn it the exact same gap they're going to come out in front of. Where's Gibbs? Oh, no, he won't beat them.
Easily clear.
Yeah. De Heide's come out, and Jardier... Oh, Jardier's still on the limiter.
Oh, Jardier is going to be behind. Oh, no, they're lap cars.
Yeah, there's Gibbs. Yeah, they are. I wondered the same actually for a second because I
was very confused for a moment.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so Jardier lost time against De Heide then. So that's now 3.5 seconds between the two. Popsu now is got clear air. So I wouldn't now be at all surprised if Popsu just goes for it and leaves it to the very last.
It's such a risk. He could put in a couple of...
Whoa!
That's not going to help your attempt.
Yeah, that's pushing a tad hard there on the exit.
If he could set a couple of really good laps while they get the rhythm, Like, if he just gets a good pit stop now, he could clear Jardier.
He could. It would be a bit much to clear Heidi as well.
It would be optimistic, but he stays out.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I would expect him to come in at the very last second. So we will see them.
Go on.
As we'll see, what was his lap time? 44.3. So, yeah, that's not bad. I mean, there's still 6 tenths, well, slightly more than that, 7 tenths off his best, but he's he could easily get back in that rhythm. Oh, Scott, that was deep into 7 and 8. But keeps it going nonetheless. Lobos has not let go of the back of that Mercedes.
No, that's what I was going to try to talk about before the leaders decided to do something we were waiting for 41 laps. We thought Scott was going to drop Villalobos, but Villalobos has been very much keeping the pressure on.
Now Scott flashed his lights there. That was towards that'll be Berserker, and that is correct because Berserker is a lapped car. Although I don't quite know what Scott was kind of hoping to achieve. Berserker's not going to jump out of the way at this point.
See this guy?
Zenny's up to 6th.
He's 10 seconds behind Jardier.
Wow.
That's how good this guy's pace has been.
And consistent as well. 44.2 from Zenny last time around. Wow. That is amazing. 44.5 actually from Scott and Villalobos last time around as well. So their battle, and Bo has indeed got... Oh! Yeah, we both clenched as well at that particular moment. Not Bo, Berserker is this the one behind, beg your pardon. But all that said, Ford just will not let go of that position from Scott. And again, why should he?
We've also had a change down here. Alexis has lost a couple of spaces to Danny Vandermeer and Nagram.
He has. So it's probably a mistake that's caused that those three swapped round. It wasn't last lap. There's 44.7 from Alexis.
There's Mr. Pops who's in the pit.
So he didn't push it too much longer then. So the first white dot is to Heidi. So Heidi's just coming through 11 now. Yeah. All going to be now. I would expect Heidi to probably come back out ahead of, but it all depends on how bad Popsu. We know Popsu clunked against Scott a couple of times, so if there's damage that he's going to fix, that is really going to push him back.
He's moving.
He's not going to come out ahead. He's not going to beat King-Kodiak because it's quite a long pit lane.
Clearly behind.
Yeah, he's probably going to lose that position back to Jardier, but. Oh, well, there's still 10 laps to do. Yeah, both of the top 2 are through now. Out comes. Oh, who's that? That's ironic.
Very kindly.
Oh,
that wasn't very kind.
gives him a bit of a come on, get on with it, doink. So Popsy then he's now 2.5 seconds out. So yeah, that was a comparatively longer stop again. As who's that on the back of Jardier? It'll be Colin McCoy. Oh, why not pick up a bit of slipstream? Help you carry on.
It looks like he's been in the wars a little bit.
Yeah, that's not livery. That's not livery.
No, that one you're not going to get caught out with that one. That one definitely isn't livery.
That's a bit of a reshaped Audi there, and still Villalobos on the back of Skull. And again, I thought he was going to have a look at the inside of 4, but again opts not to go for that. Is he going to think about the inside of 5?
He's doing enough to make Scott do defensive.
Very much so.
And you can consider the other drivers that Scott's been fighting this race, and
yeah,
it shows how good Villalobos is doing at the minute.
And they're still doing the 44.5s. They're still pretty impressive
Absolutely.
times, considering that they are fighting each other. So Scott is again wringing the neck out of the Mercedes. Oh, that was deep. Bo actually up to 5th. I think Bo's probably got to come in again. Come in again. He's got to come in at some point. That's Alexis, I think, getting out of the way. Gibbs as well, I think, has got to come in. I think I've completely lost track of it.
Has to pit.
Villalobos. I mean, if Scott opened the boot, Villalobos could get in.
The car is certainly small enough to.
Yes. Through 14 and 15 again. Scott was possibly a little slower, but that was probably by design to try and throw the rhythm of the Z4 off. But again, you can see how early that Scott's gone for that defensive line. And interestingly, Villalobos didn't follow in the slipstream. That was slightly unusual, but pressing on anyway. And he's going to be again. He's too far back for Oh, no sooner did I say that. Wow, that was close.
I think Villalobos is very much aware that Mercedes V8 is going to be a difficult thing to overcome just in a straight line. He's got to be a little bit more creative.
Yeah, but there's creative and there's very, very risky.
Crashing into people.
Yeah, that was so close. I mean, you could have, if you put a match on the front of Villalobos' car, you could have struck it on the boot of the Mercedes. He's now thinking about the outside of 5. Has he got the momentum to do it? We've seen this before, Scott, and can he get the tractor? Oh, big impact between the two. Scott has managed to keep it out of the wall. Again, Scott is involved in this. I mean, that was rather Villalobos hitting him as opposed to the other way around. So again, Scott may have words with someone on that. That was a bit of a clunk between the two. Villalobos has managed to get ahead of the Mercedes. And he'll look to try and get away from that charging blue Merc as much as he can. But yeah, exactly as you say, that he was creative.
I mean, yeah, that wasn't really what I meant.
No.
But, hello.
43.6. Yep.
And 43.4 from Popson.
Yet again, anything you can do, I can do better. Bo has brought his Mercedes in, but he's got 6 seconds to gain to Heidi now, and only 8 laps to do it. So
Heidi nailed the pit stop.
Yeah, and the outlap as well, because he's got a nice 3.8 seconds between himself and Jardier. So Aaron in chat asking for how much fuel they got. I would imagine they have enough fuel. Yeah, plenty. 25. They're all on a similar amount. So to Heidi, I think Jardier just slightly less. He's something on like 22. But yeah, they got plenty of fuel to get to the end. Yeah, 22 for Jardier.
Well, Bo is in, Andrex is in.
Yeah, well, Bo was a pretty short stop. Actually, he's back out in... Oh, he's just lost 9th and 10th, so he comes out in 11th. Not bad. Oh, Villalobos and Scott again! Well, now battling for what is now 6th position with Bo's pit stop. And Scott has managed to muscle his way back on the inside of turn 5.
I don't think this was the fight that Scott was expecting after how well the start of the race went.
I suspect not, but it's great for us, because that one, whoa, that's committed into 9. But that's, wow, this battle is not concluded. Is he going to go for an outside on 10? Whoa, he got close there. I think that kind of made Scott a little bit nervous with how close Villalobos got. Yep, just shoved off the road.
You can see how much later Villalobos can get on the brakes. It's insane.
I mean, as much as the Z4 is quite a bit... Gibbs is in, yeah. So that's of course him serving his... I nearly said penalty there, but he's serving his pit stop. 43.9, 43.8, 43.9 from the top 3. Villalobos again. He is gaining. Is he going to be able to do it? And that's Gibbs. We can just see getting into his pit box there. Scott staying on the racing line. Villalobos again. He's got to have the confidence to slow the car down and not bounce into the back of the Mercedes. But equally, he does want to kind of show his car. I don't think he particularly needs to. That rear view mirror on the Mercedes is pretty big. So we'll definitely highlight that Z4 nose for Scott to see. That is now battle for 5th.
Just want to see where this came out as... No, Danny Van der Meer ahead of Gibbs.
Yeah.
So that early pit has worked for him.
Very nicely done.
This tremendous little scrap.
Wow, that's close. It's so unbelievably close between Villalobos and Scott there. Now through 6, 7 and 8. Oh, the Mercedes got a little bit tail happy there, but nothing too bad. Now is the drive. Whoa!
Oh, you don't want oversteer there.
No, that's completely killed. Little bit greedy on the gas, and that's completely killed. Here's momentum. Bo on the back of a 3-car train. That's Danny Van der Meer, Nagram, and of course himself. Whoa, that's a fair amount of opposite lock going in when you're turning right into a left-hander.
Oh, gonna jump down here.
Van Omen and Andrex.
Well, Andrex fight this one. They've all done their pit stops now, pretty much.
Ooh.
And then he's not getting points. But That's a lot of oversteer.
That's quite a bit, yeah. He's not jumped out of the way yet, but obviously he doesn't want to throw himself off the road, admittedly. So if he's going to get out of the way, he'll probably want to do it on a bit of a longer straight than what he currently finds himself on. Through 6, 7 and 8 again. Oh, and Alexis has got Gibbs for company. So 11th place then is where the Thrustmaster livered Audi reappeared. But straight into a fight then with that Lamborghini.
This might come as a bit of a surprise to Gibbs that there are other cars on tracks. He's been on his own for so long.
Am I not time trialing? Oh, that was who was that just ahead? I think it was Nagram and Danny Vandermeer who were side by side into turn one position up. It was those two, but they haven't swapped position. There in the background, you saw Gibbs and Alexis, the battle we were previously looking at. Wow, that's deep into 3.
Something that has amused me is we've been commenting pretty much all the way through the race about Scott oversteering his way around the track. His oversteering is still quicker than I'm pretty sure either of us could manage.
Oh,
regardless of about how much laps and how much practice we were doing.
Oh, infinitely so.
He's slide away. He's out of control, and he's still quicker than a lot of drivers.
So he's actually got a drift setup going on the Mercedes at the moment.
Absolutely, and then Alexis has managed to clear it.
Yep, and Hendricks did swap position with Van Orman as well in 14th.
Yep.
That we rather saw coming. 44. Ooh, now 43.7 from Chartier. He's taken a few tenths out of the lead, but there's 6 laps to go here in Catalunya. So both still staring at the back of another couple of positions in the form of Nagram and Danny Vandermeer. The Audi doing his best to hang on. May only be 6 laps, but it feels like an eternity when you've got someone breathing down your exhaust pipe like that. And in the background, that's Alexis and Gibbs. They swapped round last lap, as we know.
I love the fact that there was a point in the race where everyone was kind of spread out. Come the end of the race, last few laps, we've got battles everywhere.
Yep.
We've got an intense scrap for 5th, we've got a scrap for 8th, we've got a scrap for 11th.
Fabulous. We'll have some more of that. 5 laps to go, and De Heide leads by 3 seconds. He has been in the lead all race long, bar his pit stop. He has been, the top 3 have been in a league of their own. There is Chartier in second, with the next one along of Popsu. Were it not for that issue with Scott, whoa, he definitely have been in contention for leading this one again. 43.6, the quickest of the top 3. Zenny in 4th.
With the devil's time.
Indeed, yep. Zenny in 4th position. That's a pretty decent run for him. That's Villalobos has snuck back ahead of Scott whilst we looked away. But Scott wanting to deploy that monstrous V8. He's going to get the slipstream off the Z4. Is he going to look on the inside of one? Villalobos doesn't go to defend it. Ooh, that's very late on the brakes. A little bit of a tap with the Z4, but Villalobos manages to hold it. Oh, but Villalobos slightly out of shape coming through too. And Scott wanted to go for the inside of 3, but Villalobos was not letting that one go. Now up to 4. Villalobos staying very much to the inside. Does not want to give Scott the opportunity of flying through there. And now coming through 4. Oh, again, Scott wanted to try and do something here. Doesn't go for the inside of 5. Well defended there by Villalobos. This is a kind of roles reversed here for Scott. He's been so used to defending, he's now finding he has to attack somebody.
Absolutely, oh, that's optimistic. That wasn't really going to work, but it was a nice attempt. Scott's certainly been not lacking of action this afternoon or this evening.
Well, very much so. Yes, he's got a few war wounds on the Mercedes to take home with him.
Yeah, we say Gibbs has had a relatively quiet race. Scott's had anything but.
Yeah. Oh, that was a very unsettled Mercedes coming into 10 there. That's press on they do. they come around 12. And again, it looks like he's just losing the traction when he needs it, but my God, he closed right back into the Z4. He's going to be a little bit too close to try and use extra momentum there. Now through 14, 15. Now is when he wants to deploy the horses. He's a bit closer, I think, this time than he was last time. Again, Villalobos going for the defensive line. Less than 3/10 between the two. Is Scott going to have a think about it on the inside of 1 again? He does not, as we have 3 laps to go. And again, Scott having to bide his time. You've seen Sterowich there in the background. He's had a fairly uneventful race, broadly speaking. And again, there's the drifting going on in both of those cars, to be fair. And yet again, Scott cannot do anything against Villalobos. Villalobos getting the traction when he needs it. Oh, that's very close. I wonder whether he thought about an inside manoeuvre at 5 then, but opted to go for the racing line again.
There was a moment there where that could have very easily ended up in the wall. But that was very clear. I'd like to give a shout out to this gentleman. It's all gone very wrong. He's nearly 4 minutes behind Ironic, the car ahead, and he's still racing.
He's still going.
Only 2 drivers we've lost have been due to lag.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Berserker carrying on their bow, still looking at the back of that particular battle between Nagram and Danny Vandermeer. So this is battle for 8th. Yeah. Whoa, that's lively there from Bo. But carries on nonetheless through turn 9. Is he going to have it? He's too far back, ready to try something into 10. He is gaining, but not enough. I'd be surprised if he just settles for that position, considering how close he is.
This is closer.
This is definitely closer. It's closer again. Oh, surely Scott's going to have a think about it on the inside of 1 this time. And Villalobos doesn't go for the defensive line this time. There he goes. Oh, yep, that was going to be impact. I saw that coming. With just how late Scott braked there. It was.
He's letting him go.
Yeah.
He's letting him go.
That was the only option really he had. He went for the outbrake manoeuvre, but tapped the Z4 instead of making that one clean. So it does allow Villalobos back into 5th, but he hasn't got long left to try the move again. There's only 1.5 laps to go. So it is all happening in the closing stages.
Absolutely, as Alexis picks up another time penalty, is going to collect them all at this point. Still amazed at that top 3 pace. Popsu and Jody, 200s
apart. And only 4/10 behind Heidi. I think I nearly did again, Dehardier. Well, I don't know where that's come from.
I think you should keep it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that won't annoy them at all.
Well, in a different commentary I did earlier in the week, I ended up calling Team Tespo Team Teapot. So
I thought you were going to call it the name of a supermarket chain.
Close, but not quite.
That was some serious oversteer from Villalobos there. You're not going to be wanting to do that. It's fun. Sideways is fun. It's not necessarily quick though.
No, but it's. Oh, that's not what he wanted either. That's going to kill his momentum now onto the start-finish straight. Surely Scott. Yeah, he's really got the momentum. He's closer still. Final lap then. Here in Catalunya, Scott is less than a 10th. It's squeezed to the wall. And Scott now, surely he's going to get the position coming into turn 1, but it's all going to be how Villalobos defends it. He chooses to back down. Is he going to try and switch back? He wants to get the inside for 3, but you can see how the Z4 was twitching. Just couldn't get the traction when he needs it. Wow, that's sliding through turn 9 for Deheidi. Absolutely flawless by the Z4. Jardier, there he is in the ACR liveried Audi. Is still just under 2 seconds behind. It all unravelled a bit for Popsu in the pits and stops. There you just saw him at the top of the chart. But were it not for those earlier incidents, we can only surmise he would have been right there at the top. But still, he'll get a podium out of this. As Jardier comes through the final few turns. Your winner here in Catalunya for the 1.5 hour race. Flash of the lights. You have every right to be happy about that. And Jardier flashing his lights as well. It is Heidi takes the win. Jardier is second. Popsu comes across the line in third position. Zenny, a very good result for you, sir, just outside of the podium. And of course, a number of cars coming across a lap down. But Zenny has every right to be happy about that.
Zenny with those familiar with the iRacing broadcasts will know Bill Soup Zan is famous for saying the early peel, late reveal. That is a perfect example there. Zenny was out of that very early on, but he's come into his own later on.
Oh, Scott just managed to fend off Villalobos. Don't wiggle too much, he might still come past you. And both of them doing lovely synchronised wiggling there. So Scott takes 5, Villalobos 6, Nesterowicz comes across the line in 7th. Vandermeer just managing to fend off Nagram. They've been in that battle for quite a long time, of which Vandermeer is going to cross the line in 8th, Nagram 9, Bo in 10th. Alexis is the Lambo on the back of that. I think that's actually going to be all of them. Oh, there's 2 Desertback in the next Audi along. Oh, with Gibbs in short succession. There were actually quite a few cars in fairly short succession, but not close enough to mount an attack.
Desertback made up quite a few places towards the end of that race. He was 17th at one point and he finished first.
A good recovery drive then. That's Van Orman. Andrex not too far behind, 14 and 15. I think Conor McCoy was a lap down. Yeah, he was. So Hendricks is the last on the lead lap. Someone's celebrating out there. I suspect that's Scott. That sounds like a Mercedes engine revving away. That's a ghosted Zenny. As you do. As a destroyed Heidi. And there it is then. Your confirmed finishes, even with the penalties, didn't really make any real difference to anybody. So Heidi takes the win. Jardier 2, Popsy 3, Zenny 4, Scott 5, Villalobos 6, Nesterowicz 7, Nagram 8, Vandermeer 9, Bo in 10th, at Alexis 11, 2 Deserback 12, Gibbs 13, Van Orman 14, Andrex 15, Conor McCoy 16, Ironic 17, Berserker 18, and we lost Nick Meadow and Dav, yes. I had completely forgotten. Right. So we see if anybody wants to talk to us.
Let's do that. It doesn't look like it at the minute. Top 3 best laps, just over a tenth between them. And Popsu just edged out of that 43-4. Yeah.
43-4.
If you look just off the best laps, if you look at those, take those best laps only into account, the top 3 were in a class of their own today.
Completely, they were.
And they were in a class of their own. There wasn't the Heidi and then Jardier and Popsu. It was they were all
right there.
fast. Jardier wants to talk to us.
Jardier always wants to talk. It's always a great fun to speak to him.
I doesn't swear.
Let's grab him over. Hello, Mr. Honzik.
Good evening.
Have fun out there, did you?
Oh man, I'm just, in these conditions outside, in this weather, it was absolutely crazy. I'm like, I don't need a shower because I'm a shower myself.
Well, what a fight you had there. It looked like, to be fair, it did look like Heidi did have the measure of you. I mean, was there a point you thought, I could have the win, or was it just more a case of hanging on to second?
Well, I was kind of hoping, after the start, first 10 laps, I was faster than the Heidi, way faster, and was really confident. But then there was a Popsu with Scott has a problem, and the Heidi managed to overtake Scott in front of me, and I lost 2, maybe 3 seconds fighting with Scott, which was amazing side-by-side action, but it cost me 3 seconds. And then you could see that me and the Heidi were doing the same lap times for most of the race, and before the pit stop I was catching him like crazy. I was like, wow, okay, BMW tires probably are destroyed or something. So I was really confident catching him, and I was like, okay, Popsu is behind me, so we will catch him together. And then Popsu came closer and I decided to pit also with the Heidi, and I don't know why I lost 3 seconds in the pit stop to the Heidi, but I think that that was the end of the race for me.
You say you were doing similar lap times. All 3 of you were at some points within 200ths of a second in lap time.
Yeah, I know.
There was one point where you set a lap time that was 1,000th quicker than Heidi, I think.
Yeah, it was crazy because I had 10 laps in a row within 1/10 of a second. It was absolutely consistency. All three of us, it was insane. So
Awesome stuff.
I kind of think like I think I lost the chance to win in a pit stop, but I don't know why. But the Heidi was 3 seconds faster. You know, I was like when I was leaving pit stop, he was 5 seconds in front. So I think it's a shame. I wish we had like 2 more laps because I think at least there would be a close fight. You know.
It looked pretty amazing from our perspective, but you know, great job. Well done to you for bringing home yet another impressive podium. Unfortunately, nobody else.
Thank you. The idea was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely great stuff. I'm not surprised. We've got no one else making themselves available to talk. I imagine Popsy probably is still kind of stewing over the earlier instances. Oh, well, I'll ask you this, Chardier. Is we were watching, particularly once Popsy had cleared Scott. His lap times were just insane. There must have been a point where you thought, blimey, this is going to be hard work keeping him behind.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was like, when I seen him coming closer, I was thinking maybe he has less fuel or something. So I was kind of hoping that he has, but as he has a world record on the racetrack, I knew he's faster, and I was like, okay, if he will catch me very fast, I will let him go, and I will use him to catch the Heidi, you know, because he was faster. But you know, sadly it didn't happen. But I was really like prepared, even not to defend the position, but I was kind of hoping Popsy will help me catch the Heidi, but it didn't happen. Lucky for me.
Great stuff, well done, and we look forward to the next one.
Yeah, me too. Thank you guys for racing. Pleasure.
Well, as no one else wants to make themselves available, and pretty much everyone else has actually legged it, so we will wrap it up at this point. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream. It's always a great pleasure to have you with us. Thank you very much, Stevie, for joining me in the box. Always a great pleasure, good sir.
I'm always happy to be here. I enjoy your company as much as anybody else.
Very kind of you.
Always.
We'll be back here for more AOR action. Thank you very much, and good night.